The fog of war is a very dense beast. Normies will never understand this aspect of geopolitics or world events, and will always think with their emotions. The same can be said about the assassination of Charlie Kirk. People want to turn this into a political matter. I've seen brainwashed cattle on both the left and the right turning this into a gun violence debate or a liberal versus conservative debate. It has nothing to do with this circus. The name of the game is misleading the public, creating a diversion for the cattle. For example, why was this boomer shouting at the top of his lungs that he was the shooter? See? Diversion is the name of the game. This begins to look a lot like a Catherine Bigelow movie. Anyway, look, first of all, I need to make you understand a few aspects about me and my politics. I was never a fan of Charlie or his rhetoric. He was a talkhead for the normie conservative magatards. You know, the same PragerU propaganda who just analyze things at face value, swimming in shallow waters of information, just like their shallow worldviews, pandering to the MAGA crowd who just say lines like, the Democrats are the real racists. And of course, I always rolled my eyes whenever he defended the blue star flag people, kissing their asses and worshipping the Judeo-Christian values of the West. A perversion, a bastardization of an ideology whom in itself is as subversive as communism was in the Eastern Hemisphere of the world for so many decades. Run and invented by the same people he defends, no less. But I digress. But Charlie was also a father, a husband, a son, and also a fellow white man, whom represented a torch of normality in today's abnormal modern dystopia that we live in. Charlie had 2 beautiful children and a lovely wife. A family that now will live without one of its core pillars. A life cut short at just 31 years old. On the 14th of October later this year, he would have been 32. Oh, God, 3 years older than I. But you see, Charlie, like most white people, had a very high intelligence. He could see patterns, and also, like most white people, he had a very well-defined moral compass. And he could have not stayed silent in good conscience. Despite the fact that for 2 years he defended the blue 6-pointed star people whenever they bombed starving children in the Gaza Strip, or spewing the same rhetoric like, it's their right to defend themselves. And our bullshit like that. But you see, something changed in the last couple of months. Charlie started to notice. Charlie started to see patterns. And Charlie started to speak. Look at this tweet of one of his close friends, tweeted on the 13th of August, 3 weeks prior to his assassination on September 10th, 2025. Yeah, I don't believe in coincidences. I really don't. Furthermore, let's watch together this clip from one of his latest live streams.
That Epstein, with his little friend Ghislaine and Ghislaine's father, Robert Maxwell, who was obviously a spy of the Israeli intelligence agencies, that there was something else going on here. Epstein was not some sort of whiz kid hedge fund manager. Epstein was playing a part. Epstein was a LARPer. Epstein was cast for a specific role, and he played it really well. The sweatpants and the Harvard jacket, the kind of disheveled hair, looking as if he was so smart and above the clouds that he was doing advanced mathematic equations on the back of napkins. But if you actually go into some of the videos of people that met with Epstein at the time, they said he was awfully unimpressive when it came to finance and markets and economics. And it's nothing new that if you're in the intel agencies, you want to try and get as much blackmail on powerful people as possible. Easy, not hard. And this is no longer just speculation. First of all, the evidence that shows that Epstein was a creation of either Mossad, Israeli intelligence, American intelligence, Saudi intelligence, or maybe he was just a hired gun. Maybe he was just the guy that countries would go to and park a couple $100 million and say, hey, can you get one of the members of the royal family with a 13-year-old so we can get them to do what we want to do? Members of Congress are actively being blackmailed. The Epstein playbook is being used on a daily basis. Jeffrey Epstein was not a financier. He was not a hedge fund manager. Jeffrey Epstein was a key player in a multi-decade blackmail operation against the most powerful people on the planet. And Jewish donors, they have a lot of explaining to do, a lot of decoupling to do, because Jewish donors have been the number one funding mechanism of radical, open border, neoliberal, quasi-Marxist policies, cultural institutions, and nonprofits. This is a beast created by secular Jews. And now it's coming for Jews, and they're like, what on earth happened? And it's not just the colleges. It's the nonprofits, it's the movies, it's Hollywood, it's all of it. It's like, time for you guys to wake up and say no more. Draw a line in the sand. I don't care if you hate me. And Jewish donors, they have a lot of explaining to do, a lot of decoupling to do, because Jewish donors have been the number one funding mechanism of radical, open border, neoliberal, quasi-Marxist policies, cultural institutions, and nonprofits. This is a beast created by secular Jews. And now it's coming for Jews, and they're like, what on earth happened? And it's not just the colleges. It's the nonprofits, it's the movies, it's Hollywood, it's all of it. It's like, time for you guys to wake up and say no more. Draw a line in the sand. I don't care if you hate me.
You see now why they shot him? Before I explain my point, let's get something straight. If you are a normie, if you are a shitlib or a magatard conservative, basically a cattle who triple vaxxed during the coof pandemic, a brainwashed cattle whom still believes that JFK was killed by a lone shooter, Lee Harvey Oswald, a scapegoat, whom still believe that humanity went on the moon in 1969, no less, with computers with the computing capacity of a few hundred kilobytes, while Elon Musk today is unable to send a few satellites into orbit without 75% of them blowing up at the takeoff. Just leave, okay? Just leave. Leave this video, leave this channel, downvote this video if it makes you feel better. Write in the comments that I'm an idiot or a conspiracy nut job. I really do not give a flying fuck about your opinion. If you truly believe that, I'm sorry to break your soft bubble of ignorance in the face of reality, but you're a downright retard. Okay, back to the subject at hand. There's no such thing as coincidences when it comes to things such as this, okay? For example, why did the war criminal-in-chief of the ghoul-invented state tweeted not even 2 minutes after he was legally declared dead, with crocodile tears sending his condolences, before the President of the United States of America, no less? Yeah, there's no such thing as coincidences. They are very afraid, and they are very desperate. They, and when I'm talking about they, you know whom I speak about. The Greys, the sillybillies, like I like to call them. They would take you out, no matter how much you kiss their saggy kosher asses, no matter how much you pander to their agenda, no matter how much you take their bribes to spew their propaganda. They have no respect for you. In fact, if you are a Shabbos doormat, they have zero respect for you. At least in my case, they'll never admit it, but they have respect for guys like me, for Uncle Age, for guys like Henry Ford and such types of anti-seismic fellows, aka educated fellows. The point is, never, ever make a deal with the devil. He will trick you, he will deceive you, he will send his demons after you to subvert, weaken, and corrupt you. And if everything else fails, he will send his hellhounds to take you out. I don't think most of you guys understand the gravity of the situation at hand. But Charlie Kirk's assassination will set a precedent for the things to come. The populists, the traditionalists, the nationalists, however you want to call them, have a switch. And on the other hand, the ruthless cosmopolitans and their mind-controlled minions have a dial. That's the difference between the two. And when the white man begins to hate, boy, that is permanent. He's very slow to hate, but when that happens, oh boy. The assassination of Charlie Kirk is sending a message worldwide that there's no such thing as democracy. There's no such thing as public debate. There's no such thing as civil discourse. If you step out of line, they will take you out. And Charlie had tens of millions of followers, arguably the biggest conservative influencer worldwide. Bigger than Benzo Peterson, bigger than Ben Shekels-Piro combined. For sure, his credibility was much higher than those two slimy cockroaches combined. And Charlie started to went off the script, and they punished him for this. They punished his family for this. If you have read history your whole life from different perspectives like I have, if you have a skeptical inclination, if you know how to recognize patterns, if you notice stuff, and if you know how to link and put them together, you will understand that more than 95% of news are fake. You will realize that most of history is fabricated, interpreted, or downright false. Then you are more than welcome to subscribe to my channel and try to de-brainwash your mind, and hopefully the minds of the normies around you. I think that Charlie and his family deserve justice, and not the fake justice that this Curry-led FBI slop can provide. I'm talking about real justice. Just like JFK deserved, and many more like him. I think this will set a precedent for the whole Western world, and I think that this will radicalize millions of people. Not only in USA, but Europe as well. People are tired. People no longer trust the media. Politicians, corporations, people worldwide are waking up. Do the same and stop being a slave.